Hi everybody, I'm Amanda Vallance, and I love fashion design. As a serious design critic, it's kind of hard for me to say that out loud. On top of having a history of not being taken as seriously as, say, the likes of architecture, in the 21st century, the fashion design industry is bordering on insane. We are currently faced with two extreme and increasingly ugly poles: fast fashion on the one end and high fashion on the other. The same three basic issues are seen at both ends of the spectrum. The speed at which fashion design now evolves is hair-raising. It can take fast fashion company Zara just 2 weeks to design, produce, and deliver a new garment globally. New styles can hit stores twice a week. And we can now online shop high designers' collections live and direct from the catwalk. The identity of the designer and the origin of the design has become murky. Many of the high fashion designers' labels are merged into publicly traded conglomerates. And high fashion has become proxy for quality design. Fast fashion is driven by trend forecasters and in-house design teams of up to 250 plus designers. Location is the final issue. Fashion operates on a logic of distance, where design, production, marketing, and consumption happen at different points all over the globe, often disconnected. Case in point, this 2012 article referred to high fashion garments that were designed in the US, made in China, sold back in the US to wealthy Chinese tourists. Within this system, it's difficult to have a real sense of connection with the fashion designers and their work, or really think about the meaning or origin of the garments. As a result, we can fail to really think about what we're buying into. We've become slavish and passive in our engagement with fashion design, as Elizabeth Klein wrote in her recent book, Overdressed. The problem is voluminous. Every year, approximately 145 million tons of coal and 2 trillion gallons of water are used to produce 80 billion garments globally, 22 billion of which are bought by Americans. Which country has borne the brunt of the intended environmental impact? As the world's garment factory from around 1980, it has of course been China. During my research in Shanghai and Beijing, I experienced the miserable air quality daily. These major cities are shrouded in smog, and Beijing's air smells and tastes like rubber. We are all intimate with the Made in China label, but now the fashion design industry spotlight is further honing on China for two new reasons. First, a designed in China label is emerging. As they build reputable design brands, Chinese high fashion designers are beginning to be recognized both locally and globally. Second, the Chinese are becoming the most important fashion design consumers in the world, as China becomes the fastest growing fashion and luxury market. It is a remarkable time when the production, design, and consumption of fashion are coming together in one country, a country that is poised to have the most powerful economy in the world. A similar situation evolved in the United States in the early to mid-1900s, and the US has handled it badly, culminating in the issues that I've touched on. The fashion design industry as we have known it is simply not sustainable. It will be highly problematic, to say the least, if 1.3 billion Chinese adopt American-style fashion consumption habits. To address those overarching industry issues of speed, identity, and location, it is clear that thinking or a higher level of consciousness needs to be encouraged in the industry overall. I think that this could be led by focusing the conversation on the virtue and value of thoughtful fashion design. I think high fashion design should take a leadership stance and focus its expertise on making this appealing. And I think high fashion designers are the best people to talk specifics. So in China, where it now matters most, what kind of thinking is going on among the Chinese high fashion designers? When I investigated, I was amazed, in particular regarding these three high-profile designers, Ma Ke, Uma Wang, and Chu Hao. In 1996, Marquez started the successful ready-to-wear brand Exception de Mixmine. Her design ethos is driven by a belief that fashion design should be led by craftsmanship. She is also an advocate for simpler design that supersedes trends and lasts. With her second Wuyong, or useless, artistic line, which she started in 2006, Marquez practices as a critical fashion designer. She uses design as a medium to stimulate discussion about its environmental, social, and cultural implications. This 2008 Simple Luxury collection was shown at the Paris Haute Couture Week. Handcrafted garments were modelled by performers who walked and danced slowly down the promenade. Alongside them, craft workers wove cotton cloths on wooden looms using a traditional method. Uma Wang launched her eponymous label in 2005. Her design is inspired by a belief in starting with extremely high-quality fabrics. She creates loose, flowing silhouettes, which the Chinese designers refer to as 2D flat design. Here, the body gives the garment form instead of the other way around. The approach also pays homage to traditional Chinese tailoring techniques, which cut garments flat. Wang also tends to use muted colours. There's less visual wallop overall. Her garments are more subtle and timeless, and therefore don't require relentless replacement. This is clearly counter to the planned obsolescence design strategy that much of the industry uses. Chu Hao started his eponymous label in 2006. Despite how well his work is received, he shuns the media and the fashion social scenes. He takes, in fact, great care to avoid becoming a design celebrity. He said he thinks this blows dangerous hot air into a business and that it takes the designer's attention away from the important work of designing. Instead, Chu Hao focuses on forming relationships with local producers. He wants to engage together with them to figure out ways to produce more innovative designs. This is partly due to necessity. If he doesn't have those relationships, he simply cannot get his small orders in amongst the huge ones from the likes of Celine, Balenciaga, Alexandra Wang. But it also performs a role in upskilling and inspiring local producers and communities. My research into these Chinese designers has informed my view that they are practicing fashion design in thoughtful ways. They are encouraging slowing down, accessing the identity of the designers and producers' work, and a closer proximity connection between everyone involved. Design critics must engage more with conscious fashion design and find ways to actively support it. The active support is particularly important in places like China, where there isn't yet a mature infrastructure to support the designers. What might active support from design critics look like? I think design critics can extend beyond opinion pieces to contribute to the development of purpose-led design businesses. For example, The Cools is a website that brings together thoughtful design editorial and communities alongside a place for designers to direct sell their sustainable design. This approach is something that I would like to see develop in regards to Chinese high fashion design. And watch this space, I'm working on it. Thank you.